What if I told you that the biggest obstacle standing between you and your dreams isn't talent, money, or luck, but laziness? Today, we'll dive into a story so powerful it will change how you view self-discipline forever. In today's fast-paced world, where distractions are just one click away, most people struggle with staying focused on their goals. Meet Ethan, a 28-year-old graphic designer who spends his days scrolling through social media instead of working on his passion project, writing a novel. Despite dreaming of becoming an author since childhood, Ethan has never been able to finish even the first chapter. This story matters because it's not just about Ethan, it's about all of us. Who hasn't felt stuck in a cycle of procrastination? But what happens when laziness starts costing more than just time? What if every missed opportunity came back to haunt you? The big question is this: can someone as unmotivated as Ethan turn things around before it's too late? Let's find out. The sun was already high in the sky when Ethan's phone buzzed loudly on his bedside table. It wasn't the first time his alarm had gone off that morning. It was the third. With a groan, he reached out blindly, silencing the persistent noise without even opening his eyes. Just a few more minutes, he told himself. But those few more minutes stretched into hours. When Ethan finally dragged himself out of bed, the room felt suffocating. Sunlight streamed through the curtains, highlighting the mess he'd been ignoring for weeks. Dirty laundry piled in the corner, empty coffee cups scattered across his desk, and papers strewn everywhere. He glanced at his laptop, which sat closed and dusty, untouched for days. Writing his novel. That dream seemed as distant now as it did when he first started talking about it 5 years ago. Ethan shuffled to the kitchen, scratching his head as he opened his laptop to check emails. His heart sank almost immediately. There, glaring at him from the screen, was an email from his boss. "Ethan, I'm disappointed to hear that you missed yesterday's deadline again. We need reliable team members, and frankly, your performance has been slipping. If this continues, we may have to reconsider your position here." He stared at the words, feeling like someone had punched him in the gut. This wasn't just another warning. It was a threat. Losing his job would mean losing everything: the roof over his head, the little stability he had left. And yet, deep down, he knew he deserved it. How many times had he promised himself he'd get up early, finish projects on time, or stop wasting hours scrolling through social media? Too many to count. As the weight of reality pressed down on him, memories flooded back unbidden. He remembered being 10 years old, sitting cross-legged on the floor of his childhood home during one of those frequent power outages. By candlelight, he scribbled stories in a worn notebook, dreaming of becoming an author whose words could inspire millions. Where had that boy gone? When did life become so stagnant? Lost in thought, Ethan absently picked up a stack of mail he hadn't bothered to sort through earlier. Most of it was junk: bills, flyers, advertisements. But one envelope stood out. It was plain white, addressed to him in neat handwriting. No return address. Curious, he tore it open. Inside was a single sheet of paper with just 6 words scrawled across it. "If you don't act now, everything you love will slip away." Ethan froze, his breath catching in his throat. Who would send something like this? A prank? Or something worse? And then came the twist. He noticed something chilling. The handwriting looked eerily familiar. In fact, it matched his own perfectly. Before he could process what he was seeing, his phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't an email but a text message from an unknown number. "I've been waiting for you to reach out. Don't give up yet." The name attached to the message read, Clara. But who was Clara? And how did she know him? Ethan stared at the text message for what felt like an eternity. Who was this Clara? He didn't recognize the name, yet something about her words struck a chord deep inside him. Don't give up yet. How did she know he was on the verge of giving up? Not just on his job, but on his dreams, his life. His curiosity got the better of him. After hesitating for a moment, he typed back, "Who are you?" The response came almost instantly. Someone who believes in you more than you believe in yourself right now. Meet me tomorrow at 3 p.m. at Cafe Serenity downtown. Ethan frowned. Was this some kind of scam? A prank by one of his co-workers? But then again, how would anyone know about his struggles so intimately? The mysterious letter, the handwriting that mirrored his own, it was all too strange to ignore. The next day, Ethan found himself standing outside Cafe Serenity, nervously clutching his phone. He hadn't planned to show up, but sleepless nights and unanswered questions had driven him there. As he pushed open the door, the smell of freshly brewed coffee enveloped him, momentarily calming his racing thoughts. At a corner table sat a woman in her early 30s, typing furiously on her laptop. She looked up as he approached, her sharp green eyes locking onto his with an intensity that made him uneasy. "You must be Ethan," she said, gesturing for him to sit. Her voice was warm but firm, leaving no room for hesitation. "How do you know me?" Ethan asked, cutting straight to the point. Clara smiled faintly. "I saw your unfinished manuscript online months ago. I reached out to encourage you, but..." She paused, letting the implication hang in the air. "You ignored my messages." Ethan blinked, stunned. He vaguely remembered receiving emails from someone offering feedback on his writing, but he dismissed them as spam. Guilt washed over him, though he tried to brush it aside. "I don't understand," he said finally. "Why go through all this trouble for someone you've never met?" Clara leaned back in her chair, her expression softening. For the first time, Ethan noticed the dark circles under her eyes and the slight tremor in her hands. Whatever she was about to say, it clearly meant a lot to her. "Because I've been where you are," she admitted quietly. "A few years ago, I lost my job because I couldn't keep up with deadlines. I spent months spiraling into laziness, blaming everyone else for my failures. It wasn't until I hit rock bottom that I realized I had two choices: let life pass me by or fight for what mattered most to me." Her vulnerability caught Ethan off guard. He'd expected judgment, maybe even tough love, but not this raw honesty. Just as Ethan began to feel a flicker of hope, Clara leaned forward, her tone turning serious. "But here's the thing, Ethan. You have exactly 6 months left to make your dream happen. After that, well, karma has a way of catching up with us." That night, as Ethan lay in bed replaying their conversation, he drifted into a vivid dream. An old man appeared before him, his face lined with wisdom. "Every action creates ripples," the man said solemnly. "Your choices define your future." Ethan woke with a start, heart pounding. Beside him on the pillow lay a folded piece of paper. Unfolding it, he read the same message in unfamiliar handwriting. "Every choice matters." Shaken, Ethan wondered if these occurrences were mere coincidences, or signs of something far greater at play. One thing was certain: Clara wasn't just a random stranger. She knew things she shouldn't. But why had she chosen him? And what did she really want? The next morning, Ethan woke up earlier than usual. Not because his alarm dragged him out of bed, but because his mind was racing with questions. Clara's words echoed in his head. "You have exactly 6 months left." 6 months to fix everything he'd let crumble. His career, his dreams, his sense of purpose. But where did he even begin? Determined to prove Clara wrong, or perhaps to prove himself right, Ethan decided to start small. He remembered something she'd said during their meeting: success isn't built overnight. It's the result of tiny, consistent actions. So, he set a timer for 25 minutes and promised himself he'd write without distractions. Just 25 minutes. Surely he could handle that. At first, it felt impossible. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, frozen by doubt. What if what he wrote was terrible? What if no one cared about his story? The negative voices in his head grew louder, drowning out any motivation he had mustered. But then, just as frustration threatened to overwhelm him, he heard it, a faint melody drifting through his open window. Someone nearby was practicing piano. The music was hauntingly beautiful, each note filled with emotion and intent. For reasons he couldn't explain, it stirred something deep within him. It reminded him of the joy he used to find in creating. How writing once made him feel alive, like he was contributing something meaningful to the world. Taking a deep breath, Ethan began typing. At first, the words came slowly, awkwardly. But as the minutes ticked by, they started flowing more freely. By the time the timer buzzed, he'd written 2 full pages, the most he'd accomplished in years. For the first time in a long time, Ethan felt a flicker of pride. Maybe this wasn't hopeless after all. That night, as Ethan scrolled through his phone before bed, a notification popped up from an unknown number. It was Clara. "How many pages did you write today?" His stomach dropped. How did she know? Was she spying on him? Or was there something else going on here? When Ethan confronted Clara the following day, she didn't deny it. Instead, she admitted she'd been tracking his progress using productivity apps linked to his email. At first, Ethan was furious. Who gave her the right to invade his privacy? But as Clara explained how these tools were designed to help people stay accountable, he begrudgingly admitted they worked. Still, her methods left him uneasy. Was she controlling him, or genuinely trying to help? As Ethan continued working on his manuscript over the next few days, strange things began happening around him. A stranger complimented his dedication while waiting in line at the coffee shop. An old friend reached out unexpectedly, offering freelance opportunities that aligned perfectly with his skills. Each event felt like a nudge in the right direction. But who was behind them? Could Clara really orchestrate such coincidences? Or was fate playing its own hand? As Ethan continued to make progress on his manuscript, life began to feel less like an endless downward spiral and more like a winding road full of unexpected turns. One of those turns came during one of Clara's weekly workshops, a gathering for aspiring writers looking to break free from procrastination and self-doubt. It was there that Ethan met Sophie. She sat across the room, her dark curls framing a face that radiated quiet determination. When she introduced herself as a fellow writer, Ethan felt an instant connection. They spent hours discussing their shared struggles, the sleepless nights spent staring at blank pages, the sting of rejection letters, the constant battle against laziness. For the first time in years, Ethan didn't feel alone in his fight. Sophie understood him in a way no one else ever had. Their conversations became a source of inspiration, pushing him to work harder and dream bigger. But love, as Ethan soon discovered, wasn't without its challenges. As his productivity improved, so did the demands on his time. Editing sessions stretched late into the night, leaving little room for anything or anyone else. Sophie tried to be supportive, but frustration began creeping into their interactions. One evening, after canceling plans for the 3rd time in a row, Sophie snapped. "You're choosing your book over us," she said, her voice trembling with hurt. "Is this really what you want? To push everyone away just so you can chase some impossible dream?" Her words cut deeper than any criticism he'd faced before. Was she right? Had he become so consumed with proving himself that he was neglecting the people who mattered most? That night, unable to sleep, Ethan found himself wandering through Sophie's apartment while she was out running errands. On her desk, he noticed a folder labeled Sophie's Drafts. Curiosity got the better of him, and he opened it. Inside were dozens of unfinished manuscripts, each accompanied by rejection letters. Some were scathing, others polite but dismissive, but all carried the same message: not good enough. Realizing the extent of Sophie's own pain, Ethan felt a wave of guilt and admiration. She had been fighting her own battles silently, never asking for sympathy or attention. In that moment, he understood why she pushed him so hard. It wasn't jealousy or resentment, it was love. She wanted him to succeed because she believed in him, even when he didn't believe in himself. Determined to make things right, Ethan proposed a collaboration. Together, they could combine their strengths, his storytelling and her meticulous editing, to create something truly special. Sophie hesitated at first, unsure if their partnership would survive the stress. But eventually, she agreed. seeing it as a chance not only to help Ethan but also to reignite her own passion for writing. Just as Ethan prepared to share their joint project with potential publishers, Clara disappeared without explanation. Her absence left a void, not just in his routine, but in his confidence. Had she fulfilled her mission, or was there more to her involvement? And without her guidance, could Ethan stay on track long enough to see his dream through? With Clara gone and Sophie by his side, Ethan faced the biggest test of his journey yet, submitting their collaborative manuscript to publishers. The process was grueling, weeks of waiting, followed by silence. Each unanswered email felt like a punch to the gut, reigniting old doubts. Was he wasting his time? Had he overestimated his abilities? Sophie, ever the rock, reminded him of how far they'd come. "Remember why you started," she told him one evening as they sat together on her couch, surrounded by stacks of notes and drafts. "This isn't just about getting published. It's about proving to yourself that you can finish what you start." Her words gave him strength, but the uncertainty weighed heavily on both of them. Just when Ethan began to wonder if they'd made a mistake, an email arrived late one night. His heart raced as he opened it, scanning the lines for any sign of hope. "Dear Mr. Carter, we are pleased to inform you that your manuscript has been accepted for publication." Ethan froze, the words blurring before his eyes. Acceptance. After years of dreaming, doubting, and fighting against his own laziness, he had finally done it. Tears streamed down his face as he turned to Sophie, who was already wrapping her arms around him in celebration. But the victory wasn't just his, it belonged to both of them. Without Sophie's unwavering support and shared vision, the book might never have seen the light of day. Together, they celebrated not just success, but resilience, teamwork, and the courage to keep going even when the odds seemed insurmountable. On the day of the book launch, Ethan stood nervously at the podium, surrounded by friends, family, and strangers eager to hear his story. As he thanked Sophie publicly, his gaze drifted to the back of the room. There, sitting quietly in the shadows, was Clara. Her presence sent a shiver down his spine. How had she known to be here? And why hadn't she contacted him since disappearing weeks ago? When their eyes met, she smiled faintly and mouthed two words. "You did it." After the event, Ethan approached her, his mind swirling with questions. "Why did you help me?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Clara's response was simple but profound. "Because discipline is its own reward," she said. "I knew you had it in you all along. You just needed someone to remind you." Before Ethan could press further, Clara handed him a small envelope. Inside was a note written in that now familiar handwriting. "Your journey has only begun. Keep inspiring others." Then, without another word, she slipped away into the crowd, leaving Ethan staring after her in awe. Resolution. In the months that followed, Ethan's book became a bestseller, touching countless lives with its message of perseverance and self-belief. But more importantly, he learned lessons that transcended fame or fortune. Overcoming laziness wasn't just about achieving goals, it was about learning resilience, empathy, and the value of human connection. Armed with newfound wisdom, Ethan vowed to pay it forward. He started mentoring aspiring writers, sharing his story in interviews, and encouraging others to take control of their lives. Sophie continued to write alongside him, their partnership stronger than ever. Together, they proved that love and ambition could coexist, fueling each other rather than competing. As Ethan looked back on his journey, he realized something crucial. Life wasn't about avoiding obstacles, it was about facing them head-on, one step at a time. And sometimes, all it took was a wake-up call, a guiding hand, and the courage to believe in yourself. Did Ethan's story inspire you to take action in your own life? If yes, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs motivation today. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts or your own experience with overcoming laziness. We'd love to hear from you.